right, Jello again. This is Ben Hitchcock Cross talking to you today. And the headline, not to bury it, is quite simply this: the Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development's Equal Rights Division no longer has an administrator of any kind. So it is the case. I can report today that Ramona Natera is no longer the administrator. The only information I have on that is that she hasn't accepted a position elsewhere. I can say that the timing is rather suspicious given our um, two lawsuits naming Ramona Natera and Amy Petchacek, the Department of Workforce Development, um, Wackerhauser, Jennifer Wackerhauser, their attorney, and many others regarding the hot mic judge and the fallout from that. I've told you before that many times the government will refuse to admit any responsibility and will pretend that something's the case, only to kick out the person, the bad actor, uh, sometime later. And I think I've got at least two responses on that right here. Um, Number one, I can tell you that I have only had one conversation with Ramona Natera. Um, and in no way did I get the sense that she was a bad actor. In no way. I have had 25 odd email interactions with her, give or take. Not one of them has been unprofessional. Now, she's the administrator. She gets to pick and choose when she wants to do things. And I may, you know, fair, they may have been terse, they may have been curt, they could have been more ebullient. But I would not have said that they were unprofessional, unlike certainly other people at the department. And notice I said department, not necessarily division there. Um, let's so that's one thing. That's the one thing there. And if the second thing I would say with that is if if it's the case that Ramona's departure from the Department of Workforce Development is related, even in part, to the hot mic judge recordings and the related litigation and everything else that's going to come out from that. And remember, there very likely will be um, federal lawsuits that flow out from the hot mic judge, particularly the attempts to use law enforcement, well, the use of law enforcement to chill free speech. Um, I don't, speaking personally, I don't, it seems to me that there's credible evidence that members of, and specifically Larissa Benitez Morgan, conversed with um, the large officer that we sort of had a back and forth with. Man, I can't remember his name. And they discussed, among other things, the YouTube presence, deliberate indifference, Wisconsin. That's how he knew about it. He claimed that he had forgotten, but that was hogwash, in my opinion. He sure as heck knew about it. And where he learned it from was uh, from Larissa Benitez Morgan. It may also be the case, the evidence appears that Larissa Benitez Morgan, or this information may have been communicated to Abby Onsgaard, the captain, or the sergeant, and that the officer got that. Man, I can't remember his name. It's driving me crazy. He's so sweet. That's the quote from him. Anyways, so that's the there's that flow there. There's definitely that connection, but that's all seems to be Celsor and below, not Natera and above, or not Natera. I haven't seen any of those documents yet. right? There's no document, just for example, that Natera is talking with the police department. There's basically people coming from Celsor, and there's Larissa Benitez Morgan directly talking to the police department. So that's really the two candidates so far, in my opinion, that are available to are possible to have communicated about the First Amendment and the need to stifle free speech, which, in my opinion, again, is surely what they were doing there. So, okay, fine. Um, I also, though, need to lay out clearly, I think, the culpability of Matt White in that exchange, particularly in his comments about trying to get me arrested, and I think the untenability of that situation. I will say this: a week and a half ago, I got an email or a mail saying that Larissa Benitez Morgan was assigned to one of my cases. Which case I said I don't understand how she's possibly assigned to anybody's cases, let alone any of my cases. Now, the interesting thing that happened was, without any correspondence, without just magically poof, we get a new message that's saying Amanda Tollefson, the judge who doesn't appear in person, is assigned to the case. And the problem with that is that Larissa Benitez, according to the theory that they're putting out there on the stolen with okay, and it's like this: in the Stolar case, in Stephanie Brown is the judge. They have made the legal argument that it's Stephanie Brown and only Stephanie Brown that has the ability to withdraw the alter the hearing, and nobody else can alter that. Well, but it turns out that the judges can be reassigned at will. Like, we know that because we have that in writing from them. But now they've done that, so that Larissa Benitez Morgan was yanked in response to my complaint about her being assigned to one of my cases. So I think that puts the lie to that, and it is my opinion, or I have seen the state of Wisconsin tell not only me, the Department of Justice tell not only me, but I believe the court in Eau Claire as well, that that it's Stephanie Brown is the one who is in control of whether the hearing goes forward or not, when in fact, like that. And since there's no Ramona Natera is not actually there to make that decision, we know that it's being made by nobody other than Maria Salsor. So that's contradictory, problematical. You know, you take your pick, but that's where we are at with them. So um, that is how we found out. So somebody called um, the front desk there at the DWD and asked to speak with Natera or something along those lines, and they were told that she no longer works with the department. So what I can infer from that, but don't know again, is that she's working for the state of Wisconsin. Needs to get her high three after all for that pension, and everybody does. I argue for that all the time. I wouldn't hold that against her, but I doesn't seem to me that shuffling the cards really is the way to go. Now, for example, her predecessor, Jesus Villa, we also, raised some issues with, and he suddenly left. And now he works at the Department of Hearings and Appeals, supervising. Basically, they do a DEI check of all terminations, and he's the supervisor of those people, is what I get. Which many of those are, he works with Andrea Olmanson and other people like that. I think it's problematical. Again, it's a problem. I would a better word for that. I mean, I would say that it's not in the best interest of Wisconsin. That's what I mean by that. Okay, so I'm guessing here that Tony Evers is hearing us and making some adjustments. He's clearly made some adjustments to the Department of Corrections. He's clearly made some adjustments as far as Milwaukee Public Schools go. Well, we're not, and we did say, hey, I think we even posted this one. We'll wait for the DWD. If, and I should have highlighted this a lot earlier, if the DWD is getting rid of Ramona Natera as an effort to as damage control, I say that is she's a sacrifice. I don't know all the details, and we'll have to depose people and find out. But that's what I see there is that it's my opinion that the secretary is the one who, if somebody has to take the fall for the hot mic judge, it would be the secretary, in my opinion. Because remember, it's the secretary's office that's control. It's the deputy secretary. Um, McGilvery is the one interacting with the judge. She's the highest ranked person interacting with the judge. She's the one interfering in the fall around case. It's McGilvery, in my opinion, is the one um, better placed to take responsibility for what's happened, if indeed anybody's taking responsibility for what's happened. Because again, as we've learned time and time on this channel, the government all too often will do something to sort of fix the problem, but not in a public way because they are reluctant to admit either liability or responsibility. And I really hope the time has come for that practice to ultimately end here. And I get it, but what I get is that the reason that the government does that is because it's your money that they're spending to protect themselves. And had they um, to spend their own resources, they might be more eager to follow the law. So, thanks for sticking with us. We'll keep you informed. I'm gonna end early. I don't even have what's a who even makes jokes anymore. That's so 2024.